Welcome back, Bills fans, fans of the game, fans of football. It's your boy Reg, Jeremy Mountain here. We're back with another episode of Blue Mafia. I appreciate you guys coming back around town. You know what it is. We got a W under the belt for 2022. Big victory. Your boy was wrong on his prediction. We're going to talk about why. We're going to reshift, recalibrate. I'll give you that 5 things to look at, to watch for, to think about this week. A little bit of a schedule change. Last year we did the pod on Saturday mornings. Not enough time to give you guys a little bit of time to burn, think about it, reflect about it. So we're shooting on a Monday night here. 6:30 p.m. new Monday Night Football here at Blue Mafia. So we're going to give you some more time to ingest. You know, I've heard some people watching on the telly. Leave me in the background, you know, while you're doing the dishes. Maybe put me on in the car, on the Apple CarPlay. We're wherever you listen to podcasts, baby. Reg and the Zoo Podcast Network. I appreciate you guys listening as always. So we'll get right into things. I got a few points to make here in the beginning about winning quarterback play. We're going to observe some paychecks, and we're going to observe the top 10 highest paid quarterbacks and the win-loss record they had this week. It's only week 1, but demonstrates what winning quarterback play, and we're going to also talk about coaches. A couple new coaches shining bright. And then I'll give you my 5 things to watch for this week heading into the Titans game. I'll give you my final prediction shortly before the game on the blog at BLEUMAFIA.com. But I'll give you 5 things, some things that we looked at, that we look for. We'll grade Josh Allen. We'll grade Booth Watch. Lots of fun on the Bills front. And then, as you know, we're going to do next 5, top 5 quarterback matchups of the week with huge implications. So let's go. Let's do it. So I've got a little point to make about winning quarterback play. The NFL is more talented than it ever has been. Guys are training younger. Hits are not as hard, but hits are absolutely ruthless. A couple guys went down to injury. But my big point this week on the opening Hot Route segment is you don't need to have the highest paid quarterback in the history of the NFL to win a football game on Sunday. And I was thinking about this, and I did a little bit of preparation for you guys for this pod. Not too much, but just a little bit. And I wanted to look at a couple things. First thing I thought was, for one, maybe Kevin O'Connell is the reason why the Rams were so good last year, at least offensively, because damn did they look good. New coach of the Minnesota Vikings, Kirk Cousins, not a fan favorite, with the young man like Justin Jefferson and a young handsome Ken doll like Kevin O'Connell. I expect Kirk Cousins' stock to go up. Now, Kirk Cousins once was one of the highest paid quarterbacks back in his Washington days. Mike McDaniel spent a little bit of time in Washington. Mike McDaniel also won a game this week. His quarterback, Tuggie, one of the most controversial faces in the league. Nice guy. So controversial. Love him or hate him, he's not afraid to go out there and play football, even if his father made him play left-handed. Another quarterback that won this week, Carson Wentz. Nobody wanted Carson Wentz. Another quarterback that won this week, Mitch Trubisky. Sent to pasture in Buffalo. Had a little fun. Partied with Josh Allen a little bit. Beat out Kenny, Cabbage Patch Hands, Chris Pine, Pickett. Mitch won a game this week. Another guy, Danny Dimes Jones, winning quarterback this week at least. Another guy. I got 8 here. Write them down. Justin Fields. Everybody wrote off the Bears. Everybody said they were going to suck. New coach, Dan Eberflus. I like him. The first time I saw him speak the other day, I thought that he had a really good attitude, and I liked all the things he had to say. I think that he's going to make that franchise a franchise with a future. 2 more here. If you're keeping track at home, we've got Cousins, Wentz, Tua, Mitch, Danny Dimes, Justin Fields, Jalen Hurts. Watch out for those Eagles. And last one, Jacoby Brissett. Those 8 guys won this weekend. Kirk Cousins, Carson Wentz, Tua Tagovailoa, Mitch Trubisky, Danny Jones, Justin Fields, Jacoby Brissett, Jalen Hurts. So I was thinking about that. I'm driving into work and I'm like, man, what a week for football. But what a week for guys that got written off. Then I started rattling off some of the top guys. So I'll go through them here pretty quick. Rodgers, Wilson, he's playing tonight. Kyler, Watson didn't play. Mahomes, Josh Allen, those guys both won. Stafford, Dak, Goff. Those are the top 10 highest paid quarterbacks as of right now in the NFL. Rodgers, Wilson, Murray, Watson did not play. Mahomes, Allen, Carr, Stafford, Dak, Goff. With 2 do not plays out of the top 10 highest paid quarterbacks, at least for week 1, it's very early. Says something about who's got reps this time of the year. But out of the top 10, Allen and Mahomes were the only ones to win in week 1. 2 and 6 for the top 10 highest paid quarterbacks in the league. And just for one last tidbit on winning quarterback play, I'm just going to give you what number ranking of payment the previous list that I gave you is. Kirk Cousins, 11th highest paid quarterback in the league. Carson Wentz, 12th. Not bad. Tua, 23rd. Mitch Trubisky, 25th highest paid quarterback in the NFL. Danny Dimes, 29th highest paid. Justin Fields, 31st highest paid. Jacoby Brissett, 32nd highest paid quarterback. And coming in at the ultimate winning quarterback rate, Jalen Hurts is the 56th highest paid quarterback in the NFL. And do you hear Jalen Hurts talking about how much he gets paid? That's winning quarterback play. We'll be right back with the 5 things you got to keep your eyes peeled on the field for with the Buffalo Bills. I appreciate y'all listening. We'll see you on the other side for the Buffalo Bills. Well, your boy was wrong about the opening Bills game. I had the Chiefs 44, Bills 29. Just forecasted this Rams team to be just as good, if not better, than they were when we last saw them last season. But I was sort of mistaken as to what that final recollection of the Rams really was. Because if I think back, now that I saw what I saw with the Rams, that's all they really were in the Super Bowl was Cooper Kupp and nothing else after Odell Beckham got hurt. And I have Allen Robinson in fantasy, and I fully expect him to find some kind of a role within the Rams offense moving forward. But wow, that was odd. Really, really odd to see that. Just bad energy right off the bat, game one. But here's my 5 things that I saw and want to see. Von Town, number 5. This is Von Town now. Going downtown Von Town. The dude looks absolutely staggering. I think I heard him make somewhat of a little joke about how he didn't really practice in LA. But I think this is the best I've ever personally thought that he looked. Because even when he first came into the league, I thought he just looked undersized and green and fast. But now he looks like a man on a mission. A man who has probably made some mistakes off the field and learned some things. Because he has some form of wisdom and service behind that young, raw, fast energy. But he still has that young, raw, fast energy. And it's maximized with a sort of martial arts-like thinking process that you can tell he's one step ahead thus far, at least. And we'll see how good that Rams offensive line really is. But as far as Von Miller goes, he gets an A+ in his debut from Blue Mafia. Number 4, Booth Watch. Ken Dorsey Booth Watch. Each week, I'm going to give you my Booth Watch grade, and that means what do I think the offensive staff did to put Josh Allen and the rest of the offense in a position to succeed. So for Booth Watch, in terms of creativity on Dorsey, I think that he was exactly what he needed to be. I thought he could have been a little bit more creative in choosing to hand the ball off a little bit more, take the ball out of Josh's hands once in a while. But we see that Josh is not going to be able to retard his savagery. So one thing that I will be looking for Dorsey to do in a way is, unfortunately, especially later on in the season when some of these games aren't as challenging, is to take the ball out of Josh's hands. Now, that being said, Booth Watch is becoming a weekly segment primarily due to the fact that this is a Super Bowl year. So I want to have a record of how this felt. But also, we have 5 huge games in the next 5 weeks. 5 challenging games in the next 5 weeks. So I'll be doing Booth Watch every week. And going back to my grade, creativity, give him about a B-. Productivity, give him about B+. And effectiveness, I will give him an A-. So there's your Booth Watch grades for week 1 heading into week 2. Now, number 3, we got the general, Josh Allen, and his grade for the week. And we'll break down the quarterbacks, mind, mechanics, and moxie. That's my 3M's peak methodology. So, mind. How was Josh Allen's mind this game? What do you think? Let me know in the comments. But I thought he looked like he was ready to have some fun. I think that he looked like he wanted to get out there and hit someone, literally, as we saw him do that several times. I thought that he looked like he was prepared. He looked quick. He got the ball out very quickly. His mechanics, especially in short interior throws, has significantly, once again, improved. The time that it's taking him to get it from catch to release is seeming to continue to speed up. And that means that his mind is working faster and he knows before the snap where he wants to go with it, which is clearly a good sign. Mechanics. I thought that his mechanics were good. I think that there's clear study in what he does, but I think that the mind comes before the mechanics for a reason in my mountain methodology. But his mechanics, if you think back to when he first started till now, you wouldn't even necessarily know it was the same player if he put on, a visor and a different number in a different town. But somebody, I think, on the telecast said, "Are we watching Tom Brady?" And people who know me know that back in 2019, I saw that in him in his future, that once he figures it out, he's going to put this barn ball into a proactive state where the barn ball isn't going to be just trying to hit a target sitting on a pile of hay, but he's actually going to be planting crops and doing the work in the off season to know what he's got to do when it matters so that he can reap a championship. So mind, I'll give him an A-. Mechanics, I'm going to give him a B, because get down, Josh. All the smiling and laughing is great for TV, but it's going to be a matter of time before those hits start to really hurt. Mechanics, we'll give him the B. And moxie, on the other side, to see a freaking quarterback that big take those kind of shots and just continue to get up laughing like a drunk dude at a barn party, got to give him the A+ on the moxie on primetime, because he was literally perfect. He did his job. Step one, you can't have moxie if you don't do your job. He did his job well, and he did his job looking like he knows how to do it, aka looking good. So we'll give him an A+ on moxie. So overall, that's about A- for Josh Allen here at Blue Mafia for week 1. Now, let's do a quick preview of the Titans. Down the road, later this week, I will give you my weekly article. I'm toning it down a little bit on the writing so I can get these pods out earlier in the week. A little bit toned down on writing. Try and save a little bit of that for my work energy, but I will give you my pregame dump each week, where I'll sort of forecast what I think the game is going to look like, so that you can take your butterflies sort of in the beginning of the first pregame dump article of this week. This article is for you out there, Bills fans, with butterflies and anxiety and nerves before game time. That's what the pregame dump is all about. It's to give you what I really think is going to happen. What I really think is this is what's going to happen. So you can either read it so you have some idea and you feel better about it, or you can read it so that you can shit on it, talk shit about it, and turn your fear into confidence. So, previewing the Titans, I'm going to give you a couple guys that you got to keep your eyes peeled on the field for, as we're holding our breath and hoping that Josh Allen doesn't get hurt. A couple guys on defense. Kevin Byard, number 31. Keep your eye out for him. He's a very talented safety, one of the highest paid, highest talented, highest skilled safeties in the league. Couple of mean old linebackers. Obviously, the Titans are coached by Mike Vrabel, mean old linebacker. Bud Dupree, number 48. You might remember him on the Steelers. Always gave us a problem. And Zach Cunningham, one of Blue Mafia, Jer here's favorite unsung heroes around the NFL. Unfortunately, he's on the Titans now. I was hoping the Bills might be able to get him. But number 41, Zach Cunningham, guy flies around. And then obviously Tart, large man up in the middle. He's going to be trying to stuff Josh Allen's hole all morning and night. Night game, obviously, on Monday night. Long ways away. A full week. But you have a full week to digest this and think about this. Also, Taylor Lewan, love him or hate him, he's kind of cool off the field, it seems, but he's also disgustingly gross on and off the field. Those guys you got to kind of just look out for. And then a couple guys that I actually do kind of like beyond the people that you may know. Dontrell Hilliard, number 40. Obviously, if you're on your fantasy boards, you probably saw him in the free agency, but he had a really big role last week for them, or yesterday for them. And I was pretty impressed because Hassan Haskins, number 25, I thought was going to have a huge role. He's a rookie out of Michigan, runs very hard, but Dontrell Hilliard had a huge role last week, and Tannehill seemed like he was very comfortable with him. And you know how Tannehill finds those guys that he feels comfortable with and throws to pretty much only them. But Hilliard caught a touchdown, was kind of all over the field as a kind of an H-back, but he was pretty fast, so he'll be making an impact. And then Treylon Burks, really, really talented freak out of Arkansas, rookie number 16. Liked this kid a lot. Picked him up in the family fantasy league. They got him basically to replace A.J. Brown. And I think as much as A.J. Brown looked awesome with Jalen Hurts, shout out, have them both in the family league. As much as A.J. Brown looked awesome for Philly, I think Treylon Burks is going to be very, very awesome. So keep your eye out for them. I'll give you, my sort of detailed game prediction on the pregame dump at BLEUMAFIA.com. Probably Friday or Saturday. But as far as my final thoughts heading into the week, I thought that my expectations for this Bills team were high, but I had sort of tempered expectations based on you just never know how a team's going to come out with so many people talking highly of them, so many people picking them to go to the Super Bowl. You just didn't know how exactly they were going to come out. But the thing is, Von Miller makes this team a team that has a belt. This team doesn't have a belt, but they have someone who does have a belt. And they thought they had that with Emmanuel Sanders last year. And as much as he seemed like a good guy, just was never doing it for me. And I'm so happy to see Gabe Davis out there as a true number 2 because he is a big-time threat. But ultimately, enjoy this because I'm going to say this all year. I don't know if I'll ever see a team as good as this. So enjoy this season. Nothing lasts forever. We don't know if we'll ever see a team this talented again in Buffalo. And sure, we might in the next few years, but we might not. I was wrong. Stick around for the top 5 quarterback matchups around the league. I was 3-2 on those picks last week. I was a little careful with my pick on the Bills, but if you read the pregame dump at the end, I did say I could also see the Bills totally waxing the Rams 55-10. I couldn't decide how I saw it last week. It was either going to be a Bills explosion or a good game where the Rams were going to be at home and have an advantage, but they did not have an advantage. The Bills Mafia was it's pretty special to kind of be a part of a fan base that represents humanity in such a way. But we have Sean McDermott and Brandon Bein and the Pagulas and Josh Allen and the rest of this great organization. Thank for that. Bills Mafia, we're just a bunch of fucking scabs. But hey, we got a good team, a good organization to root for, and we got a new stadium coming. So thanks for listening. Stick around for the top 5 quarterback matchups around the NFL. It's BLEUMAFIA. It's the implications, baby. We're back. You might have been thinking that we were a little off with our Bills prediction last week, but we're pretty freaking spot on heading around the NFL with our top 5 quarterback matchups around the league. It was a little bit easier to pick out the top 5 this week. They really front-loaded that matchup schedule last week, and we still got another one here. I got to get this wrapped up so I can watch some of this Monday night game. We got Russell Wilson taking on Seattle. That one will be crazy, emotional. Gino, come on, man. Do something tonight. But hell of a weekend for football fans this week. As we talked about in the open, the top 10 quarterbacks, top 10 paid quarterbacks went 2-6 with 2 D-not plays. And Jalen Hurts is the 56th ranked quarterback. And he, along with 8 other mid-level quarterbacks when it comes to pay scale, all won. So here at BLEUMAFIA, we give you what we think is the top 5 quarterback matchups with huge implications, because implications can have playoff implications, they can have the belt implications, they can have implications on who's going to be the starter next week based on how a guy performs. All kinds of implications. It's the implications. So coming in at number 5, no particular order, sort of in order from beginning of the week to the final game. New order, baby, here at BLEUMAFIA. Number 5, early Thursday. Now you see why we're getting this out on Monday, because there's so many football games during the week. Thursday night. No time to take a breath, no time to be hungover, kids. Because Thursday night, we got Justin Laserbeans Herby Hancock heading to Kansas City. And one of the teams between the Chiefs and the Chargers are not going to be undefeated after only 1 week. And that is absolutely crazy because there were so many good games last week, but you would think both of these teams could be undefeated for a while, but they're not going to be. Because unless they tie, like Davis Mills and Matt Rye, write that one down, Tiny. Herby Hancock throws absolute lightning rod laser beans. Little tiny laser beans that can fit through a tennis racket 50 yards down the field. Herby, Mahomes, and Allen are 3 of the best passers I've ever seen. I'm just going to freaking say it. And the way that the Chiefs have improved, despite losing Tyreek Hill, who looked pretty good with the Dolphins, somehow Andy Reid and the Chiefs have gotten a lot better by losing Tyreek Hill. Sky Moore, number 24, looks awesome. Football player. New number 10, running back. Can't remember his name right now. He looks fast. Clyde Edwards-Helaire looks good. The Chiefs look better than they ever have. Mahomes looks more in control than he ever has. Who knows? Mahomes not having Tyreek Hill around may show how much better Patrick Mahomes might really be. Because if you think about it, Tyreek Hill came up under this Chiefs tree. And I'm not saying Hill won't be good wherever he goes from now on, but he was not exactly like bopping around the league as a superstar before Patrick Mahomes. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Chiefs continue to evolve, but that one is going to be absolutely electric, and I think I probably have to give the edge to Mahomes just because of how good they looked last week. Herby, good game, great game, but I got to go Chiefs in that one. We're going to keep track all year. I'm 3-2 right now in these games. Number 2, Tua Tagovailoa heading to Lamar Jackson. I had a really weird premonition this week that Lamar Jackson's going to play for the Dolphins next year. The Dolphins look good. Mike McDaniel looks good. The Dolphins fans are already talking shit about the Bills fans, which is exciting because it's about time they had a team that could compete. Without Ryan Fitzpatrick, they haven't really been anything in the last 10 years. I can't even, Tannehill, he did some things. Jay Fiedler, last winning quarterback in Miami. But Tua might be a winning quarterback. And Mike McDaniel plus Tua, both guys a little physically disadvantaged. Both guys a little weird. Both guys a little quirky. Both guys a little small. Telling you, Dolphins might be a problem. And then we got Lamar, no contract. Jackson. I like the way Rashad Bateman looked. He's got number 7 on. Always a plus. But he already beat someone over the top. And Lamar ripped 3 touchdowns last week. So if you don't think he can pass, he did on the Jets last week. But we'll see what he can do against that Dolphins defense that looked very frustrating for Mac Jones. And Bill Belichick looked so warm, that poor old man. Number 3, Tom Brady in his white Uggs taking on Jameis the quote Winston. Broski Ryan, older brother, he has been talking about Jameis all off season. Michael Thomas has not played for 3-4 years. All of a sudden is frothing at the mouth, screaming like it's a Super Bowl. Jameis has a certain way about him that gets people to perform. And I kind of forgot that he took on Marcus Mariota last week and that they actually played against each other. Florida State versus Oregon. Classic. But Tom Brady, even though he wears the weirdest white cleats that you'll ever see a football player wear, he looks pretty sharp. Now, I don't know how long he's going to last because it's not the easiest game to play at 45 years old, which is unbelievable. But he can still rip the cord. And he's still ripping that yo-yo. I don't remember what kind of yo-yos they were, but they were the kind that would stay and go. Those super nice yo-yos, he's still ripping those out to Julio Jones, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans. Come on. So many weapons for Brady. The Bucs have to play in the Saints. Coach Dennis Allen, big win for them last week. Pretty big win for the Bucs. I got to go to the Bucs just because it's Tom Brady and they have so many offensive weapons and that defense completely just beheaded the Cowboys. Literally just beheaded Jerry Jones in Dallas on primetime. Devin White is a freak. And Leonard Fournette looked very good. So I'm going to go Bucs. Sorry that I didn't pick number 4 again. But I'm going to go with the Dolphins again. Surprise. So I've got Pat, the Dolphins, Tua, and I've got Tom Brady. Number 2, Kyler, the baby, Murray, heading to Father Derek Carr. Not a whole lot of time on this one because I'll be watching this one strictly because I hate both of these quarterbacks. Davante Adams is a very good player, but Derek Carr, 3 interceptions and a fumble to end the game. Kyler Murray, bunch of stats at the end, playing Madden when the game didn't matter, got his paycheck, didn't look like a winning quarterback, neither one. But I have him on here because we're going to keep our eyes peeled on them because they deserve to be under the microscope for how much they get paid. And then, coming in at number 1, a couple unsung heroes. Now, Kirk Cousins has gotten the bag several times, but Jalen Hurts, my unsung hero of 2022. I'm rooting for Hurts. Throws a pretty ball. Guy can run, and he's a great leader. And I'm rooting for the Eagles this year because they're in the NFC, and I can, even though I'm a Bills guy. Western New York ties on the Eagles, as we've mentioned. You just got to love that team. You got to love A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Miles Sanders, Jalen Hurts. It's a collegiate all-star team. That's it. I got Carr because Davante Adams is a beast, and it's in Las Vegas. And I've got Kirk Cousins over my guy Hurts just because I think Kevin O'Connell is doing such a phenomenal job in Minnesota. And I'm going to keep my eye on Sean McVay all season long to see how good of a coach he really is now that his whole tree, everyone wants to give the Rams and Sean McVay credit for how talented the pool of coaches that were supporting Sean McVay actually is. So I'm going to be keeping my eye on the family tree of Sean McVay, aka the guys that made Sean McVay's name so popular. I'm going to be keeping an eye on those guys. So LaFleur, Staley, Zach Taylor, Kevin O'Connell, and then Mike McDaniel and Kyle Shanahan too. We're going to keep our eyes on all those young coaches in the future of the NFL. I appreciate you guys listening. I got to get over to this Monday Night Football game. Have a great week. Let me know what you want to hear about. Let me know how I'm doing. Let me know you're listening. Thanks, guys.